welcome to the Vast Experience YouTube channel. And well, there's other channels for this now too. I'm putting it out on Rumble as well as TikTok. My name is Michael, and I am I'm a psychic, and I have been going through a number of experiences. So I call myself an experiencer. What you're looking at on your screen here is one of the first pages, I believe, of remote viewing session that I had done. This is the first page right here, actually. So I got assigned this by a woman, and I can't release the video that I did. These are the warm-up sessions, and I can show those. But she owns the video, so I can't say her name or anything like that just because of the contracts involved. But we went through this. She was very curious as to what a remote viewer would get if she assigned me a number. I didn't know that I was viewing this. I didn't know that I was looking at the lionsGate 8. So I didn't give the 8-8 thing much stock in the past, but now I look at it a little bit differently because I got a lot of very interesting information, like Labyrinth is right here. A lot of movement and energy, something about loyalty. But when I looked it up, it has to do with Egyptian times. They had 3 seasons, and this was the marking of moving into the next season for them. It was when Sirius was raising in the sky, which is the start of the winter constellations, right before sunrise. So everything was marked by the stars back then, and they would know that it was heading into the season when the Nile used to flood. So that's like the official history, but there is a lot more in-depth stuff that goes on with that. That's as far as I know from what I've looked up. I want to look into it a lot more because there is something to this. I felt a lot of streaming energy from this project. I did an hour video for her doing a whiteboard session like this is, but these are the warm-up sessions. So I sent these to her too. I got her permission to use these, but I just can't use the video. And she said that she's going to maybe be putting out my video on her YouTube page, so I will link it if she does that. I really hope she does, because it's one of my new favorite sessions that I've done. So I was getting this movement. I was getting this pyramidal level thing. It's a layer, there's a flow. I kept getting this cave opening and something to do with time going back and forth. There's energy and movement. And for some reason, I did quotes of keys. So heading into the next one here, you can see I drew an eye with kind of this energy kind of coming out. And I was getting a quiet rumble of an energy. Yellow collapse, total, a flow again, a start, a new levels of growth. I also got this wealth change, and I was hearing a lot of noise. And people who do remote viewing, where you do controlled remote viewing sessions, when you get a lot of noise, it's almost like you're consciously picking up on a whole bunch of voices and a whole bunch of energies all at the same time. So I was trying to quiet it down at this point. And like, I'm just on the second page and I was getting noise. It was pretty interesting. I was seeing this glowing eye. I said something about following, something opening. A golden, orange, and yellow color was coming through. Something about an optical, something about viewpoints, transitions, change, growing, something about a data rate. And I was seeing like this data rate increase of something spiraling upwards. I don't see the image here. Maybe I did it on a different page. A divide and multiply. How? By working at it. This is by working at it. This is huge, I think, because this is the time of year where people go into the lionsGate and say, okay, what kind of big changes are we going through? And it's always something you're working at. So I found this really interesting looking back at these. I was seeing this over and over again, this dot and dot here, and it's an alignment. Like, I imagine that this is maybe a different star, like the Sirius star system. And like, there's another image coming up where I drew 3 dots, which is like Orion's belt. I drew like, I'll show it to you in a second, but this is an alignment, these linked dots, and this is like an energy surface. This is like a sun rising on a surface, right? Which I described with the Egyptian lore. Friendships, an amazing new level, a new point in time. It's not stable, which tells me that it's a single point in time that moves according to how we view the relationship through time. So coming to the next page here. Okay, I'll start at the top, which is where I stopped, or where I started. An eye-opening, lines in space, something big, an open shaft with width growing, getting larger. Karma, a build-up. It's a short period of time. There's obstacles in the way. It's an idea. It's truth. Adapt or die. That's interesting. Here's an opening. So this could be the portal that people talk about, but I see it more as a time in space where things can open up for people. I kept getting a bitter taste in my mouth, and I wrote chickens here, and this was an idea like I got a bitter taste and there's chickens. Like people are being chicken at this time of year and aren't taking the growth that they should. I was seeing one mouth to another and they were talking back and forth. And then I wrote it's growth. So it has to do with growth. A door, and I wrote yes or no, like which one is it? And I circled both. So it is a door, but it also is not a door. It opens, it closes, it's entangled. I kept seeing bright silver colors and circles and particles. These symbols kept coming up. I kept seeing triangles and circles and rectangles with energy bouncing around inside of it. I got an AOL of a UFO, which an AOL is analytical overlay, something you don't count in the session, but you write it down to get rid of it. Coming to this next one, I was seeing a land-water interface, a gathering of people. So these people were gathering right here along this water shore. Actually, I was at a shoreline yesterday, which is interesting. And then the full moon came up. It was really beautiful on my way home. But yeah, it's a gathering. I was seeing this flowing energy coming down and this ball of light with giving off these radionics, this gravitational wave. It was quantum, of course. Like it was obvious that it was quantum. For some reason, I wrote that. A future event, yes. And then I wrote and again. So whatever that means. And I wrote forgive. So it has to do with forgiving. That's pretty interesting. Forgiving yourself, maybe, forgiving others. Then I wrote love and light agenda. So I don't know what that means, but there is a love and light agenda that started back in the 70s and 80s that kind of backfired on whoever started it, because now it's grown into this big thing. But I think it's something that was started as an agenda and it kind of grew to new lengths. But there was an agenda that was started by certain individuals that we don't need to get into in this session here, but you guys can look into that for yourself. So it's not stable. Keep in mind, all of this is blind. I didn't know that I was looking at this. Like all I got was this number. Keep that in mind. So all this is blind, right? So I didn't know that I was looking at that. That's what real remote viewing is. So it's an altering energy, downloads deep energy. Many are confused and wondering. Maybe it's wandering. I'm not sure. Then gather and become better once they combine energy. That's pretty interesting. And I was seeing this AOL of an apple. I kept seeing an image of an apple, which, can represent the falling of grace, but it can also represent knowledge and adding value to our knowledge. Coming into the next one here. Sorry about these images. They were in dark light. It wasn't very dark out, it wasn't very light out when I took these images. Yeah. It's a short length of period of time, I'm assuming here. I wrote virtual reality, cosmic signs, levels, suspension, guidance. I heard a ripping sound, which is kind of cool. I was seeing this image of a planet. I saw this several times, a view from the outside, this big sphere spinning in space and something revolving around it, which probably could have been the moon. But I was seeing this over and over, and I had to get it out of my head here. So I wrote, it's not worldly. I said, this is in certain cultures, which is true. Rich cultures, yes, mostly. They have time on hand. So they have the time on their hands to view this. So I'm assuming people who don't have a lot of money don't pay attention to this sort of stuff as much because they're worried about eating or getting food and water for their day. Grads, I don't know what that is. Balance, foresight, So people with foresight comes more to the horizon, the forefront of things. But yeah, grip, like get a grip, I guess. More getting a grip on your reality. I was picking up on subjects, many of them. This is supposed to say change, laughter. I was hearing laughter on and off too, but it's not funny. It's a laughing. They're laughing because it's not funny, because of the brutal truth. It changes you. So this is all about change through here. But yeah, following others, learning, grasping at straws. I've seen people just reaching and trying to grab things. So I don't know what that means, but it was like people are trying to do things for themselves and they're just trying to grasp at whatever they can. So take all this with a grain of salt, but take that with whatever it means to you. Okay, so I think this is the last page that I wrote for this warm up. It's an attachment to something. Yes, this is a force. There is lifestyle in regards to this. People can't let go. I wrote self-sabotage right here, which a lot of people are going through right now. They're sabotaging themselves. I have been going through some of this too, where, the last year I've been going through this, but this month I've been realizing a lot of my own faults and trying to fix some of these things. But I was seeing handcuffs are off. Handcuffs are off. This is supposed to represent what or why. And then I wrote pride, karma, stealing. So people thieving. I don't know what they're stealing, but in relation to karma, this is a buildup of karma. I was getting a warm, loving energy and a gasping type of energy, like surprise, like looking to the horizon, which again goes back to the Egyptian stuff I was mentioning earlier. This is a change. It can be good or bad, just depending on the person who you are. Yeah, blind leading blind, self-sabotage. Again, we know all about that, don't we? Everyone who's watching this, at least, I'm sure, has an idea. I was getting a tired energy. It sounds like a crowd shouting. It's a level up like a game. Yes. So much info in all directions. Narrow it down to a single spot. So this is where I was like, okay, I'm getting a lot of information all over the place. Look at right here. What is this all about? Buildup of energy. It's a change. It's one state into another, one state of being into another. It's uncomfortable change. It's only for some. It's unrational. And I said, absolutely. Yes. So yeah, that's my session, I think. Let's see. Oh, I guess I have more. Oh, right. Okay, I remember this. I was seeing an image of a person. I was seeing two auras, two different auras, and one was phasing into the other one. So it's changing from one state of being into another. It was like they melded. Again, blind, opening, garish, energy. It's inside yourself. Most are unaware, but when told, they see it. So you only see it when you're told about it. Once you're aware, you're aware. And I said, what the is this? And I said, change. It's an inevitable change. It's infinite. And I've seen particles flying around in these spirals coming through like this, like they were doing circles within circles. Particle energy, movement, fast, back and forth. It's time aware. Here's the 3 dots that I said. I think this is Orion, and there's a nebula right here on Orion. So once I looked back at this, I was like, that's Orion. Like that's got to be Orion's belt. And then the nebula right here. Horsehead Nebula, if I'm correct. But it's in an alignment. I was seeing birds in flight. This is one of many signs. I was seeing birds, like pay attention to bird signs. I was photographing birds yesterday at the beach too. Interesting. I think this has to do with also what it means to me. It must be, because there's a couple of things that I'm kind of reviewing in my own life here. Yeah, it's an inner battle. No one wins or loses. I saw a person with his arms out screaming, and no one hears him. It's an internal scream. He is invisible, or turning invisible. So people are changing. Some people aren't being heard. Maybe this is me at times. I don't know. I think this is all of us at times. Sometimes we just scream out inside. We're just so frustrated, right? I was hearing people talking. No one hears anyone. It's like this is a time where people are stuck in their own little worlds and they're not hearing one another. I was hearing crying, and then it was calm. There's a hurting. There's an emotional change. So all in all, this is really what it's all about. This time, this is a really fun session. This little warm up. I took an hour break after this, and then did an hour video for this woman. And man, oh man, I love my job when I get to do stuff like this. So super, super fun. But yeah, this is where I finished for the warm-up session. And if you want to assign it to somebody else, give them 2171 and see what they get. I think there's a piece of paper where I took another picture or something. No, that's a different session. Yeah, that's a different session. Sorry. I think there's a piece of paper where nope, all gone. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I'll put this out on the platforms that I choose. Obviously, YouTube is the main one for now. I might be making a new one because I'm not getting views on my YouTube page. So, excuse me. I appreciate you all who are watching this. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to get at me, my email is TheVastExperience@gmail.com. Please hit me up if you like. Please leave comments. Hit the like button, or if you're on TikTok, hit the little heart icon and follow. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great 8/8 day.